Hello everybody, I am TechnoVoid, your host and Minecraft speedrunning coach, and with me is Hamsterwings, your favorite Pokemon analyst.
I didn't know you were a Minecraft speedrunner.
Yeah, no, Dream, he comes to me, he says, hey, look, I need to know what the best ways to cheat are, and I tell him, look, no pain, no gain, you gotta get that ingrown toenail off, man, that's gonna hurt, but this is week 5 of TDD Season 5. That was a weird intro. Let's get into it.
Yeah, it was.
I don't premeditate these things. I just say words.
Yeah, you just vomit.
I just vomit. So, unfortunately this week, or fortunately maybe for me actually in editing, we only have 3 matches this week again, because there are still a couple of folks who haven't played yet. So we have 1 quick ball match and 2 timer ball matches for you this week. Let's get straight into it with TDD OJ versus TDD Math Geek. What are you thinking?
So this is, as you put it in DMs, the man who stalls versus the man who was born in the stall and molded by the stall. That is how you put it in DMs.
It is funny because I did mention this in TDD as well, in the TDD chat. OJ is convinced that he plays offensively, but I don't know if OJ knows what offensive is because all of his TDD teams have been stall.
I mean, I wouldn't call this stall necessarily.
Right. No,
I think this team in particular is bulky offense.
It's bulky offense, right? For sure. But like, I mean, like with the Suicunes and stuff. But OJ does play with these very, very bulky Pokemon. And I look at Matt's team here, and I look at Matt's team from the past couple of weeks, and I see this Smeargle here 5 for 5. It and Staraptor are the only Pokemon to have come to every match, and I'm just thinking, please. I'm hoping you're building a team where Smeargle is not pivotal. Please. But unfortunately, we have another week where that's not the case.
Yeah, so just looking at the matchup, I mean, you see a Slowbro, you see a Toxapex, you see a Smeargle, and you are worried because you see a Tapu Fini on the other side.
Yes. Yeah, anything
Tapu Fini, just as we all know, makes status a null point for 5 turns. In addition to that, Venusaur is naturally immune to both Toxic and Spore. And so is a Scavalier, actually, if it's running Overcoat.
Yeah, so it really does become tough here. And I mean, OJ also, as we'll find out later in the match, also does have Pokemon, at least one, with Taunt. So this really comes, I think, to bite Math Geek. I think a larger number of just offensive moves, a larger number of just offensive presence would do him good. I think he has a really, really strong SAA core, and I just don't think he relies on it enough. I think he just needs to rely on it more.
Yeah, definitely. On Team Preview, I would go like maybe 60-40 OJ. Like, I feel like this is a very uphill battle for Math.
Yeah, for sure, yeah. The Staraptor here is honestly really nice. I'm kind of surprised to not see Quagsire. Obviously, the Venusaur is here, but he does have answers to the Venusaur, and I feel like Quagsire does play very well into both Rotom and Fini.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, but also, yeah, I mean, Toxapex is just kind of a weird pick for Math. I think he knows that, but it is what it is. I'm just surprised to see it come as often as it has, honestly.
Also, looking at Team Preview, I would say if there was ever a time for Reckless Staraptor, it's now.
It's now, for sure. Okay, let's grab into it. Grab into it is not a thing anyone has ever said. I don't know why I said that.
I don't think so.
No. Here, I think, very strong lead from OJ here. He's got that Fake Out. He's got Mega Venu, which is always threatening something. And, Math leading with Smeargle as usual. It is immune to the Spore, which puts it in a good position. Not immune to the Fake Out, though.
Yeah, Mega Venusaur being immune to Spore is very nice for it. Up goes the Trick Room, which is interesting with Morpeko out on the field because it can only boost its speed when it does strong attacks.
Yes,
so,
and Venusaur, on the other hand, is actually quite slow. Well, it's
slow, but not slow enough.
Yeah, it's slow, but not slow. That's fair.
So out comes the Double Sleep, both of which are going to be blocked by the Misty Terrain and getting off a huge chunk on Slowbro. Assuming he's probably looking to get that Regenerator now.
Yeah, switching out there. And it's going to switch out, get that regen into the other bulky water type. I think at this point OJ was expecting the switch, but I believe he was expecting the switch I'm not sure in what, Kartana maybe? Yeah, I mean the Fire Fang makes me think Kartana.
Yeah, but I don't think there's any chance Kartana would come in on Trick Room.
Yeah. Well, we'll see later in this match, but...
Not, like, this early in the match, I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, so the light screen goes up and Baton Pass, so this is, you know, now that he's seeing that the Spore is not going to work, he switches in here to get a very strong...
Yeah, actually a very good Baton Pass with Finny being at not Finny, Diancie being at -1 speed now.
Yes.
In the Trick Room, which is very nice for it.
Yeah, because now it can Mega Evolve and still be one of the slower things on the field, especially with this Morpeko being as fast as it is right now.
But at the same time, it's a little late because
Yeah.
Trick Room is about to end.
Trick Room is
Which
over.
is, of course, why Slowbro came back in.
Yeah, to get it up next turn. I don't know if Finny shows it off here. At this point, it's kind of scary to still have Finny in here because, you know, Finny could die pretty easily to this +1 special attack Diancie after a couple of turns. He does go.
It's not going to get O-Code, though.
Yeah, it's not going to get O-Code. He kills the Morpeko. The Trick Room is back up. But at this point, I feel like Finny
At this point, even with its -1 speed, it's going to be slower than a Scavalier. I mean, it's going to be faster than a Scavalier, sorry.
Yeah. But yeah, I really think that, I mean, it works out for OJ here, but I think switching out the Finny and being able to keep it for when he does need to block those sleeps and toxics again would have been very, very good. As it stands here, he does have to switch the Escavalier out here because
he needs that.
Yeah. No, that is the best way to deal with Diancie. That Moonblast taking out just so much health.
Yeah, a big chunk, but Diancie's finally going to go down here.
Yes. And now we have a very, very bad matchup for Venusaur here.
Yeah.
We see it does not have Intimidate, so we are running Reckless here. The Doxpex, of course, going to go first. And then, you know, Straptor being very, very fast. In Trick Room, not quite going to work out for it, but it does take out the Mega Venusaur, which is kind of huge.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that crit mattered or not for the recoil damage.
Unsure.
Because Venusaur does have quite a bit of health, but Rotom comes out, pretty sensible play.
Yes, going for the Protect, still not switching out the Finny, which at this point I'm really surprised by, but he's just going for the double Protect to wait out this Trick Room. The Toxic and the Spore both going to get protected through, and now...
And it's worth noting that Rotom wouldn't be protected by the terrain anyway.
Yeah. Because of the Levitate. Rotom's in a very, very good position right now. He is faster than both of these Pokemon, and he actually, really, really good play here, goes for the
that is a big call out.
That is huge. That is perhaps the game-winning play here. And Finny has revealed that it does have Taunt, which kind of shuts down both of these Pokemon. The T-Bolt not quite going to take that out. The Smeargle is quite fast now.
I mean, that's actually very surprising that it didn't kill.
Yeah, I think that the
minus Spadef even through the light screen.
It was not minus Spadef when it hit.
Oh, yes, it was.
Was it?
Yeah.
Go back and check that.
Yep.
Oh, so it was. Never mind then. I was incorrect.
Might be max Spadef. Probably is.
Yeah, and at this point, interestingly enough, so Rotom does get Toxiced. I think that is too little too late, because at this point, Rotom has a really, really good way to murder everything else on this team. And the Toxic's
even doing a resisted 50% through light screen to Kartana.
Yeah.
And he does get the first turn Wake, which is pretty important, although I'm not sure what Smeargle was going to do at this point. Maybe Baton Pass again?
Yeah. At this point, Kartana not going first.
Yeah,
which
that's
is
interesting.
Which is huge. The taunt going to basically prevent the Slowbro from doing anything. And now Math is down 4-2. His last Pokemon is another thing that is easily going to be taunted.
Yeah.
I really, Scald there into the Rotom needed to happen, because this Rotom is just going to take out both of these Pokemon with a +2 Thunderbolt.
Yeah, that Finny really did a lot.
Yeah, no, really surprised the Finny did not leave at any point during that match. Ended up working out. The one-turn sleep was really nice. I think Math did need to Spore and sleep that Rotom after it got to +2, just because the Toxic was not going to kill it in time. Math simply didn't have enough Pokemon to hold out the Rotom.
I don't think it's like game determining in any way, but I'm confused as to how Kartana undersped Rotom.
So Kartana was min speed because he was trying to run it in Trick Room. And so to that, I mentioned this in chat, but like as we've said in previous weeks in the reviews here, having a really fast Pokemon on a Trick Room team works, because there's going to be a lot of times that you don't have Trick Room up and you need to be fast for that.
And it creates the pressure that you need to get the Trick Room back up.
Yeah. So yeah, the Kartana I think definitely had a chance there to get at least 1 or 2 kills.
Probably 1.
Probably, yeah. At least it would have killed Finny, most likely.
Yeah, it probably wasn't touching Rotom.
No, likely not. But I mean, Kartana is so naturally fast that running it in Trick Room is just not worthwhile, because it's still against someone who is. I guess you're the one running Trick Room, but with like a team like OJ's with Pokemon like, you know, Escavalier and, you know, Rotom and stuff, you're not really underspeeding those.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so and especially once the taunt was revealed, I think MathGeek, because he was playing on mobile, missed that Finny taunted into the protected Smeargle. So
yeah,
there wasn't but
yeah, I mean, that's unlucky.
That's unlucky, but I mean, if for a team like this that relies so much on statuses, I think it's just fair play to assume that your opponent is going to bring taunt or some way of dealing with that, especially after last week where taunt kind of screwed him over.
Yep.
Okay.
For sure.
Otherwise, yeah, pretty good match here.
I think so. Yeah.
Yep. All right, let us move into Timer Ball, and this is not favoritism at all. Look, we're talking about me again. It's not. It's fine.
It's not favoritism. Batila's shown up more than you.
This is true. All right, so let's talk about this match. So Diggory versus me. I honestly do not have too much to say about this team. I am pretty surprised to not see Grimmsnarl. I think I have a similar problem here to last week, where there's a Scizor and my team just is bad against priority, especially Scisor's priority.
Yeah.
I struggle with that a lot. I really, for anyone fighting me upcoming in the next 2 weeks, if you want to screw me over, just burn me. Diggory knows that. Peanut knew that. Just burn me. I can't do anything.
Yeah, it is wrong.
The last thing I will note is I was really, really scared of this Ludicolo going into this match. With Swift Swim, it basically outspeeds me even when I do have Tailwind up, and I'm running not Water Absorb Mantine for once. I'm running Swift Swim Mantine in hopes that I can get my Tailwind up before the Pelipper's Tailwind and potentially get an extra turn off. But with Ludicolo being super fast, having water boosted moves, and really just with Zygarde not being able to do anything to it, it really, really threatens me here.
Yeah, Ludicolo is, I mean, it just has the matchup.
Yes, yeah, Ludicolo is very, very nice into me. Again, you know, the Scizor is a big concern for me. The Koko, I'm not too worried about. The Dragapult, I honestly probably needed to prep more for the Dragapult. When I was doing my prep, I was thinking, I am concerned about it, but I think even though I was wary of it, I still didn't have enough. How about his team? What are you thinking about his team into me?
So going into you, I feel like he very much doesn't know that you have prep for Mega Swampert.
That's true. Obviously I have Tapu Bulu.
Yeah, you have Bulu, but outside of that, if he burns Bulu, Swampert has free reign on this game.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, a lot of my Pokemon here are very, very weak to ground.
So, I mean, Diggory's a great player. I'm sure he sees how good Ludicolo is. That's why it's here.
Yes.
And I'm sure he sees how great Swampert and Scizor are, which is why they're here.
Yeah. And Pelipper just acts as a support to those three.
Yeah, for sure. Dragapult, I think, is a good decision over Grimmsnarl. At some point, to some degree, I'm surprised to not see Grimmsnarl, but to some degree, I also get it.
Yeah. I guess
I might have even dropped Coco.
Coco.
Revenge
That's what
Snarl,
I was
if I'm being
exactly what I was about
honest.
to say. I was thinking I maybe would have run Grim and Dragapult here instead of the Coco. That being said, I do understand why the Coco is here. Electric does threaten a fair number of my Mons, and being able to drop my grassy terrain does work in his favor for a fair bit of stuff.
Yeah, because there's some stuff that Mantine just walls out.
Yep. Okay. All
So
right.
I understand.
Let's get into it. And I'm spitting truth in the chat here that TDD's mascot should be Vivillon, because this is just butterflies every single match.
True.
Nobody commented on that, so I wanted to mention it now because I thought it was clever. My Rocky helmets that I've been running on my Tinky water types have been fantastic. Also, this Will-O-Wisp immediately just ruining my life.
Yeah, turn 1 Will-O-Wisp. He's probably thinking he's sitting pretty right now because nothing can touch Swampert.
Yes, I'm in a very, very bad position. Coco.
So out comes Coco to like reverse the terrain and stuff. Gonna get a fancy little Horn Leech.
Yes, and at this point I've revealed I'm not running Water Absorb. I don't know if Diggory has made note of that to realize that I'm probably running Swift Swim at this point. I don't think it's super relevant, but it's just something to note.
Yeah, Mantine obviously needs to get out of there.
Yes. Now he's bringing that, and I was actually, so I use the high horsepower there because I'm expecting Coco to stay in. It doesn't. Smart play there. I do not get frozen, which is pretty cool. Now at this point, I'm actually predicting the double switch into Mega Swampert from the Pelipper side, expecting him to expect me to hit it with an electric move, but he actually calls my call there, and doesn't do that at all. And I have a really, really bad turn here, so good play on Diggory for that.
Yeah, Diggory is really like playing out of his mind this match to make up for lost time.
So that works in my favor. So at this point, Swampert is here. Swampert is basically ready to take over this game.
Yeah, and look how much damage that Scizor takes for hitting Mantine.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to get into later in the match of where we disagree.
So the Bulu comes out here. This Bulu is honestly here primarily to pretend to threaten the Swampert.
Yep.
I'm expecting him to go for the Protect there. I'm not looking to hit it at all. Bulu dies to burn here. I'm fine with that because my real counter into Swampert is actually this Melmetal.
Yeah, because obviously Swampert feels incredibly safe here. It's already protected. It has no reason to switch out.
Yes, and I bring in Melmetal, he brings in Coco. It's like, okay, well, he's going to try and attack the Coco. Nope, Z Solar Beam. Let's go.
Yep.
And
this is the random Z move prep.
Oh boy. So at this point, I still think I am on the back half here. Losing Bulu kind of really hurts for me.
Yeah.
I didn't really have an answer to that, and now Zygarde is in here against, it's arguably its biggest threat.
Yep.
The Muddy Water.
Good old Ludicolo.
And so the Muddy Water taking out Raichu there means that Dazzling Gleam is only hitting one Pokemon, so that actually ends up low rolling and not killing me there.
Yeah. Bringing out Salazzle here is good. You definitely need Fake Out support now more than ever.
Yes. And this was also a roll. 1,000 arrows. Could have killed there. Leaves at 1%.
Yeah, and this is probably where I start disagreeing with your plays.
That's fine. So at this point, we should talk about this.
Yes, please do. Please do.
Okay, so this happens, the sash goes down, and I Sludge Bomb into the Coco. I'm faster, and it dies. And so, okay, let's talk about this turn.
Yep.
You go first.
So obviously, you did not know that Salazzle would outspeed Coco.
Yeah.
Nobody knew that except Diggory. And I don't think Diggory even remembered.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that leaves Ludicolo up now.
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, whether or not you outsped, you either needed to preserve Salazzle at 100%,
Mm-hmm.
or keep Mantine's health really high.
So,
And
yeah.
in my opinion, what you should have done that turn is either E-Speed Ludicolo and swap Salazzle, or E-Speed Ludicolo and just burn your sash to kill Coco.
Yeah. I think that is fair. That being said, Dragapult is still a huge issue here.
It is, for sure.
Dragapult still easily kills Salazzle with Dragon Darts, breaking that sash. He's got the Z Ghost move, which I don't know, but I still don't think I could have come back from that. I think what you're saying was the correct play for me. I was worried about double downing him and allowing him to bring in both Dragapult and Pelipper on the same turn, basically.
Yeah, but also, E-speeding with Zygarde. Can you hover Zygarde for a second?
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have killed itself to burn. Wait, no, it wasn't burnt.
It wasn't.
No,
burnt.
it wasn't burnt. I'm an idiot. So you would have had Zygarde out, which, I mean, would have died to Dragon Darts.
Yeah.
And I assume you probably would have switched in Melmetal. On the Salazzle side.
Melmetal was also quite low.
Yeah.
And dies to a hurricane, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know if it would have changed the tide of the match, but at the very least, Ludicolo would have been gone, which is a huge threat still. And Salazzle would have its sash. Is that enough to beat Dragapult? I don't know.
Yeah. We also don't know if Salazzle would have kept its sash. Like, now we know, but in the previous turn, since we didn't know if Coco was going to be faster.
My analysis is based on you swapping Salazzle out.
Okay, that's fair. Into what? Into Melmetal?
Melmetal.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see.
And so Ludicolo would have been gone, and since Mantine didn't come out here, Scizor wouldn't be a threat.
Yeah.
Because when it comes down to an endgame, Mantine always beats Scizor.
Yeah. Yeah, my thought process there was Melmetal will die to whatever Coco does. I believe I actually calc that for this turn, and no matter what Coco hit Melmetal with, Melmetal was going to die. And I mean, with the Zygarde on the field, I mean, I was concerned both Dragapult and Scizor can easily one-shot it. Melmetal would have died, and then I would have basically been down to Mantine and Salazzle. Salazzle with Sash, still don't think that's enough to kill 3 Pokemon.
And it probably isn't.
Yeah.
But that's
I do see where you're coming from, but like that was sort of my thought process during the match, as to why I did these switches the way I did. But you're right that leaving the Ludicolo was a issue, because now Pelipper comes out and it's super fast again. I'm also fast, but I'm not faster than a Ludicolo, who doesn't even need Tailwind.
Of course, Diggory's most clearly best play here is to set up his own Tailwind as you might set up yours.
Yeah. That I did not account for, which was my mistake. It wouldn't really have changed much. I do get the double protect here.
You do get a double protect.
Yeah.
And Mantine dodges, I think, another Muddy Water. I think it dodged one earlier.
Yes. Although, to be fair, he got a lot of accuracy nerfs on me, too. which didn't affect the match, but really affected my heart.
Yeah.
So.
And now this threat comes out here.
So at this point, my game plan, I did not think I had a win con, really, but my win con was like, Mantine is able to sort of deal with a lot of these Pokemon. I need to basically start Toxicking and holding the fort. Unfortunately, I'm too low on HP at this point, and this thing, I don't expect it, but it has a Z move, so Mantine is gone, which ends my chances of winning the game 100%.
And, I mean, I think Diggory pulling the trigger there was very, very, very necessary.
There was nothing left to use it on.
Yeah.
That was the call.
But, I mean, assuming that his move that he Z'd was Phantom Force, which I'm pretty sure it has to be.
Yeah.
There's a decent chance that you won the game if he didn't click the Z move.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, well, yeah, because, with the risk, potentially. So, but that being said, I don't really think there was anything left to use Phantom Force on, so...
I agree.
Yep. I mean, great match from Diggory. Diggory's first win this season. I think he played it very well.
Yeah, I think it was a much closer match than the score showed.
Maybe. I don't know.
I think so.
I felt like towards the second half of that match, I really did not have anything to do with the Dragapult.
Yeah. I mean, Dragapult was rough for the whole match, I think.
Yeah. Alright, so that is this match, and let us move into the final one. Again, not favoritism. it's another good match to show off. Team Fourgeist
I'm like
versus Peanut.
I'm like 3 out of 5. There's
Yeah.
plenty of people who are 3 out of 5.
Yeah, okay. Tell us about this fight. What's going on here? I think Peanut has more than you, so this is actually Peanut Scratch favoritism, which makes sense because he's kind of the MVP of this season.
Yeah, he's killing it. So going into this, I was doing a lot of reading on my own team, and I was like, wait, all of my physical attackers that I would bring to this match are immune to Intimidate. Huh.
Hell yeah.
So I brought Metagross and Entei. Mega Banette, I'm not 100% sure I should have brought, but he's here.
That's fair.
Blastoise, I mean, he's Blastoise. Like, come on, he's broken.
Yeah, so it's really funny to see that you have Qril Black. It's not come to this match, but you do have it. Peanut still bringing the Dragonite despite that.
Yeah.
Ends up unpredicting your prediction and ending up better for it.
Yeah. I mean, Dragonite is scary. I definitely do have ice moves on this team, because
Sure.
why wouldn't I?
Right, of course.
But
I mean, Lando was definitely coming, so.
yeah, of course. So, I mean, I see Toxicroak. I see that as a non-threat, but everything else on the team is definitely worth being scared of. I obviously don't know Spectre's item. It could be Specs, it could be Scarf, and it's important to know that as early as possible.
Yes.
Landorus definitely has a bit of item flexibility too. Porygon does not.
Mm-hmm.
But, and Dragonite does too, of course.
Yep.
So, I feel like it's another information game.
Yeah, so just to start it, that's why you lead with Banette, right? To get the first
Yes.
off? Yeah.
Yep, and taunt a Trick Room if necessary.
Yep. Alright.
However, this doesn't look like a Trick Room team, so I wasn't super worried about that.
That is fair. Yeah. Alrighty, let's play into it. I keep saying things that don't make sense when I press play.
Let's
No,
go into it.
No,
Go
yeah,
into
let's-
it is pretty
No, I
normal.
said let's play into it.
Oh.
I say things that aren't things. Okay, so you Life Orb.
So we
Twitch.
find the Life Orb and the Choice Band, which honestly I was expecting neither of those. Good old Banette is gonna Mega, and is obviously gonna go for some statusy stuff. I'm actually kind of glad that he switched Umbreon in there, because
You didn't want to be, yeah.
I didn't want to be synchronized. But I can't prankster him anyway, so that's good. So he's gonna switch into Porygon. Makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
As Regieleki comes in, takes half from a foul play. Why, Regieleki? Why?
So at this point, and we were talking about this in DMs a little bit, and I do want to mention this. At this point, we have two tanks on Peanut's side of the field, and one of them
Yeah.
is using Ally Switch. In this scenario, it's not like the worst thing, because you do still have foul play, which, you know, does have some offensive pressure, but this is not the only match this week where this sort of thing has happened, where we have two very tanky Pokemon on the field with one of them just using Ally Switch a bunch. I don't really understand the strategy there, because you don't have any kill pressure.
Yeah.
It's like,
To be fair, I believe Peanut only did it once, but there was another game this week where it just happened over and over and over.
yeah.
And I didn't really see what it was accomplishing.
Right. Yeah. So I just in general, like looking to the future, I feel like generally good advice is, you know, having two tanks on the field isn't necessarily a problem if you're stalling out. But if you're using one of those slots to just constantly switch the positions, the enemy team is just getting free damage on you, and you're not really doing anything to retaliate.
Yeah.
In this case, I think it's different because you do have the foul play, though, but just in general, it's like you're just kind of getting whittled down slowly without much benefit. So
I agree.
I just wanted to make note of that, so... Yeah, at
I
this
mean,
point,
it does buy him a bit of extra HP on Umbreon,
Yeah.
which is nice. Blastoise's gonna have no problem taking that. And his Citrus Berry will activate soon.
Long
so-
have we awaited Citrus Berry activation? That doesn't even...
So I'm just kind of like slow rolling the match right now, because I mean, Icy has two tanks out. I don't really want to reposition. I just kind of want to take my damage where I can get it.
Sure. Makes sense.
So, but I will take Blastoise out here to bring in Entei. As Greninja gets poisoned, I don't care, like, at all.
Yeah.
I do not care that Greninja is poisoned.
Yeah, Greninja's gonna do its job regardless.
Yeah. So we swap out Greninja, we bring in a Lecky, and we Sacred Fire the Porygon, and it dies.
Easy.
Debug. The move failed because it did nothing. I guess. So he brings out Toxic Rogue here, and I'm like, alright, this sounds fine.
Fake me out, baby.
I can't be faked out, and you're effectively weak to fire because of your ability. Goodbye.
See you later. That's very funny that happened that way.
Yep.
So now you see this banded Dragonite.
Yeah, and as soon as I see the Dragonite, I'm like, alright, let's put Greninja in. Because, you know.
Yeah, nice crit there.
Entei does a ridiculous amount of damage and can't be synchronized because he's a fire type, as he bans himself into Tailwind, which is interesting because now I get a free attack on whatever slot that is.
Yes, because you know it's a switch there.
I honestly kind of wish I doubled into that slot.
That makes sense.
I think what I did still made sense because I did want to kill Umbreon through the Tailwind.
Mm-hmm.
And now Mega Banette is out. And I think this is where the game goes wrong for me. Is I critically misplay with Banette multiple times.
Yeah.
So I go for Destiny Bond here, figuring he's just going to take me out.
He doesn't.
And he doesn't at all.
Yes.
Because Banette lives that.
Yes, and now since Banette only has priority moves, that Destiny Bond is going to fade before they can hit you.
Which wasn't exactly a problem. But what I should have done, absolutely, is assume that he's no longer going to target Banette.
Yeah.
And what I should have done is absolutely taunt the Landorus.
Yeah.
This turn instead of burning it.
Yeah. Those stealth rocks are super important because we look at your health here. Banette can't switch back in. Entei can't switch back in.
Banette can, actually.
Oh, Banette can?
Yeah, it does 12.
Oh, 12. Okay. Lecky takes a lot. Greninja can't.
Greninja can't.
Yeah, so
and Entei can't.
Yeah, so you're at 4 out of 6 now. You're actually this is actually a 4v6 game at this point.
Yeah. Well, 4v3.
4v3. I don't know why I said 6. I'm blind. So yeah, the Destiny Bond here, it's like.
So in my opinion, 3 back-to-back important critical misplays on Banette.
Yeah. Very unfortunate there, because yeah, I mean, especially now that you've shown Destiny Bond, there's no reason for him to just kill down the other slot.
Yep.
So you're expecting what? You were expecting a E-Speed there? Is that what?
No, not E-Speed, because Dragonite just came out,
Okay.
but I wanted to sack Entei to get a double down.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think makes sense here.
Sure.
So now we bring in Lecky and Metagross, and now I'm scared of Extreme Speed.
Right. So you bring.
So I
this
sack
in.
Greninja as opposed to protecting.
He does not.
And
He goes for Lando.
Metagross is easily going to live the Shadow Ball because of his Assault Vest.
Well, I don't know if easily is the word I'd use there.
Yep, and we get to Ice Punch the Landorus and it dies. Probably should have just killed Spectre, huh?
Yeah, most likely.
But I was like, he had a lot of speed control. Maybe he's not Scarf. He's Scarfed.
He's scarfed. No, he is scarfed. And that is the match.
Yeah.
So what are your final thoughts? So I mean, obviously the 3 Banette turns, as you've mentioned, the match could have gone very differently. Fun follow me there.
Yeah.
Do you think there's anything Peanut should have done differently? I mean, obviously he won, but like assuming you did get the proper Banette plays, what else in the match do you think that he could have done differently?
I think I threw away a free win.
Okay.
Because I think the moment he banded himself into Tailwind, he lost every bit of momentum he had.
That's very fair. Yeah.
So I don't think, like, I still think Nitesh played well.
Yes.
But I think he would have lost if I didn't misplay 3 turns in a row with Bennett.
That is fair. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure on this. I think this might be another Choice Protect moment where he had Tailwind on a previous set where it was not banded, and then he put the band on later. Because I remember him sending me a couple different teams, and I didn't look too much in depth because I was busy, but I'm guessing what happened is the item ended up changing, but the moveset ended up not changing, which is exactly what happened like 2 seasons ago where he was running Protect Kyurem, and then he decided to put a Choice Band on it.
Yeah, Choice Specs, I think.
Choice Specs. So I think is very similar situation here where Because like as we've mentioned, as I have literally done this season, running like protect alongside a choice item is usually not a good thing, but it can work sometimes. If you're just switching an item later on and not really thinking about the set, it can sometimes bite you, because the move kind of becomes unusable in the case of like Tailwind. Because Tailwind is a move that gives you momentum, but immediately being forced to switch out makes you lose momentum.
Yeah.
So yeah, really good match though, and that is going to be it for this week. Do you have any final thoughts?
Not particularly. I think this is a long episode, isn't it?
Might be. No, we're at 36 minutes, which is long for 3 matches, but we're still good.
Okay.
I will just say final thoughts. I mean, the only match I really think that should be discussed at all is Cause and Stormy. I think it was Cause's best showing thus far. That being said, it was still pretty one-sided, all things considered. I think Cause really, I've said this before, I really think they would benefit from doing some research outside of their matches, because as it stands, my impression is that the only Pokemon experience they're getting is their weekly fights, which is just not enough to end up getting a win. We saw some things like we saw decorating into Contrary. We saw some like recovers like at inopportune times. Just some plays that I think could be avoided if you A, have someone look at your team beforehand, or B, just sort of do a little bit of research on, enemy Pokemon, how fast they are, just that sort of stuff. That's mainly what I wanted to say, because I really do want to see Cause win at some point here, but I think that we do need some more research happening outside of match time if that's going to happen. Yep. I implore that. As for the other ones, unfortunately, Batila versus Egg this week was very one-sided due to some rolls, and then Cause versus Post was pretty even, pretty like back and forth, 1-for-1.
Co versus Post.
Co versus Post. I'm bad with words.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah, and we sort of talked about the ally switching there, and nobody else has played yet, so that has been an episode. Thank you so much for watching. I've been Technovoid.
They're actually playing right now, I think.
I've been Technovoid. This has been Hamster Wings. If you enjoyed it, you can subscribe. Not that I really need to tell you that, because the only people watching this are probably already subscribed. Next week will be up here if it is out. Otherwise, as usual, videos are available on the spreadsheet and all the other fun stuff. So we will see you next week. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.